This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today's Tuesday, which means we're doing a top 5 video. You've already seen the thumbnail and the video title, so I'm not going to bore you with too much of an explanation on what today's video is all about. But it's basically, just briefly, it's basically my 5 favourite movies or films, however you want to describe them, which star rock stars. I'm not talking about just cameo appearances here. I'm not talking about biopics of famous rock stars. I'm not talking about, the kind of Beatles type films where the Beatles essentially played the Beatles. I'm talking about, where somebody who was best known for getting up on a stage and being a rock star suddenly proves that they can be something of a character actor as well. And you've probably got a list of your own, but this is mine, starting with
Stormy Monday, starring Sting.
Yes, set in the 1980s, made in the 1980s, Stormy Monday is basically Sting starring as slightly questionable kind of seedy nightclub owner, Finney. I don't think we ever learned his first name. He was always just Finney in the script. Nightclub owner and probably small-time petty criminal, or that's hinted at, but it's never really explicitly stated. He runs this nightclub in Newcastle upon Tyne, and Sean Bean is probably the main lead character, him and Melanie Griffiths, but Sting is in a strong supporting role, and he's the protagonist, and the villain of the piece is played by Tommy Lee Jones, playing this character called Mr. Cosmo. And strangely enough, one of his henchmen in the film is played by Scottish actor James Cosmo, who, last time I saw him, he played the Irish priest in Sons of Anarchy. Just a really good, atmospheric, gritty crime drama. Superb performances all round. There's a particular scene in Sting's office when the heavies are trying to put the squeeze on him that is just, you can cut the atmosphere like a knife. It's fantastic. Really, really good kind of British crime noir thriller. Highly recommended, and Sting's performance is well worth a watch. Next,
McVicar, starring Roger Daltrey.
Now, I could have picked many films starring Roger Daltrey, any of the Who movies, like, I guess, Tommy or something like that. But I think I've seen Tommy all the way through once. And it didn't really leave much of an impression on me, if I'm honest. People will disagree with me in the comments, I'm sure, but that's what the comment section is for. But this dramatisation of the life of British armed robber John McVicar, it's debatable how close to the truth it is, but it's not meant to be a documentary. It's just a good, entertaining yarn, and Roger Daltrey can act. He really pulls it off. You get the feeling that he's not just showing up and reciting a bunch of lines that he's memorised. Adam Faith is in this as well, and there's a bunch of, I think, can't remember his name, but the guy who played the chef in Fawlty Towers, Terry the chef in Fawlty Towers, he's in it as well. I think Stephen Burkoff is in it. There's a good cast, and of experienced actors, and Roger Daltrey is the centre of attention, and he carries it off. He doesn't look like somebody who's out of place amongst this cast of experienced thespians. So yeah, if you haven't seen some good music as well from the Who, there's some. I think this was. I think after Keith Moon died, I think this is when they had Kenny Jones on drums, and there's some good tunes in the background. Great performance by Roger Daltrey. Well worth an hour and a half of or thereabouts of your time if you can find it somewhere to stream. McVicker. Next.
That'll Be the Day, starring David Essex.
Now this one, my abiding memory of this one is that it's in black and white. It isn't in black and white, but the TV that I saw it on was a black and white TV. Back in the 70s, I used to have a little kind of 12-inch black and white portable TV in my bedroom, and this was on late one night, and those little kind of mono earpieces that looked like half of the old iPod earpiece, the kind of white wire with the earplug. Listening to it on that and watching. It's basically a coming-of-age story starring David Essex. Ringo Starr is in it as well, and I think Keith Moon has something of a cameo in this. Basically, David Essex is a rebellious teenager who runs away from home and comes back to try and be a rock star, and comes back with his tail between his legs a little bit, and then runs away again. That's basically the plot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's just, as I say, a coming of age drama, and David Essex plays a good part in it. Again, a chap who this was, I think, 1974 when he was at Riding High with Hold Me Close, and what was that? I can't remember any of his hits. A Winter's Tale, that was his Christmas one, wasn't it? But again, he was in amongst a cast of experienced, proper actors, and he didn't look out of place. He was doing a good job of carrying it off. Didn't just seem like he was showing up and reciting the lines. It's still repeated every now and again. It's probably out there on some streaming service or other, and just a nice little time capsule of a movie, kind of showing the sort of the golden age of British rock and roll. It was made in 74 or released in 74, but I think the events that are kind of described or portrayed in the film are maybe about 10 years before that. So it's like that sort of. It evokes a real atmosphere of 60s Britain. Not that I remember much about 60s Britain. I was born in 67, but it certainly has that authentic feeling. It's well worth a watch. Give it a try. Next. The
Prestige, starring David Bowie.
Now, if David Bowie's part in this film was any smaller, you could really just have called it a cameo, but the character that he plays might not have the biggest of roles in the film, but how can I put this? A certain amount of the plot hinges on what David Bowie's character is all about in this movie. He's not just like kind of a walk-on, walk-off, that was David Bowie. No, it's, his character. The character he's playing is a historical figure, Nikola Tesla. Basically, the plot is that there are two competing stage magicians in Victorian London, and they have very good reason to really despise each other, and that's all explained by the plot. And they're always trying to do this kind of game of one-upmanship where I've got this trick that's better than yours, and I've got that. Anyway, it culminates in this astonishing illusion that one of them pulls off, and the other one's trying to kind of figure out how he's done it and all. It's just if I say any more, then I'll be kind of giving away spoilers, and I don't want to. But suffice to say that Nikola Tesla, the guy who was instrumental in kind of formulating what we know about electronics and electricity in the 20th century, one of his inventions plays a big part in the plot, and that's all I'll say. And Mr. Bowie pulls it off magnificently. Again, you don't get any sense that it's just somebody that the production company have cast in the role just to sort of get a bit of publicity, and he's there as an actor, and he's earning his keep in the film, definitely. So give it a watch. The Prestige. Next,
True Grit, starring Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, this is one that it was a toss-up between two films for this final slot here. It was either going to be True Grit which is what I've chosen, co-starring, let's say, Glenn Campbell as US Marshal or Texas Ranger LeBeouf, who accompanies John Wayne's Rooster Cogburn on his quest. It was either going to be this, or I thought, can I stretch the term rock star just that little bit further and include Frank Sinatra's performance in Von Ryan's Express? Because I love those old cheesy World War II movies, Guns of Navarone, Where Eagles Dare, The Great Escape, and Von Ryan's Express. There isn't a bank holiday or a Christmas holiday goes by when I don't watch at least 2 or 3 of those. The Dirty Dozen, there's another one. But in the end, I opted for True Grit with Glenn Campbell, because it's got, I remember watching this with me dad one Saturday night when it was on TV in, 1974 or sometime around about that, when I was a young wee lad, having a glass of shandy with me dad. And then, I see this, for me, it's kind of the other way around with this film, because I didn't know that the bloke who was in True Grit was the fella who, not very long after I'd seen this film, was appearing on Top of the Pops, even singing Rhinestone Cowboy and Wichita Lineman. I didn't know. I thought Glenn Campbell was an actor who became, a pop star or rock star. I didn't realise that, about the whole history with like the Wrecking Crew and the Beach Boys and so on. So yes, happy memories for me watching a good old John Wayne Western with me dad. Drinking shandy and enjoying the smell of his pipe tobacco. So there you go. Those are my 5 top picks for movies or films which star rock stars or /singers in either a kind of supporting role or a main role, certainly not as a cameo or where they're not playing themselves. Let me know what you think of my list, and as I say, I'm sure you've got one of your own, so leave that down in the comments below. But that is the video for today, folks. Hope you've liked what you've seen, found it entertaining in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time. As I always say, we drink beer and talk about stuff, mainly music and guitars, but it can and often does go absolutely anywhere. It's a cracking way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.